you know what? If I don't sit down and talk about this, nobody else is. So we have right here, I'm going to show a real quick clip, all right? And if you see in the movies and a lot of stories, when it comes to possession and things of those nature, you will see that a lot of the people are Caucasian. I'm not being racist whatsoever, but they are Caucasian nature. A lot of the stuff that happens are of Caucasian origin. The shootings, the schools, all the bizarre stuff, Ted Bundy, all of it. Because it's something in that genetic pool with the chromosome that splits it off with that Neanderthal ape gene. Like I said, I'm not being that racist whatsoever, that the demons and the fallen one, the Nephilim, are all related to. That's what nobody's seeing and getting. It's all in the genetic code. All right, along with the spiritual and everything else, the Canaanites, the Hamites, Edomites, and everything else. Because these are the people that all the paganism and everything has come from. And you will see where it says Egypt. He brings up Peru, the sacrifice of little babies. They talk about all of this stuff, so that lets you know the time and the separation of what I teach about. But that's why in Romans it also says that if you sit down and a Gentile converts over to the religion, you can tell by their conversion, by them accepting the truth, their consciousness, how they act, in their ways, and them following the law. Only their actions and their consciousness will show it. Because those with the guilt of it, they actually will feel guilty for what they've done, and they will try to or of the past, and try to be as of God and walk with righteousness and treat others as they want to be treated. Those who don't have a different nature and a hatred. And I could be saved by grace, who cares? No, it doesn't work like that. This says it, this shows it. All right? So you have to look at what goes on with the Satanism and the paganism and where those entities lie. Who do they speak to? Even on here, they have people who are speaking to ghosts, and the first thing they're doing when they're speaking to ghosts is saying, is this work going to continue? Is it going to progress? And the demon tells them, certainly. But do they know what they're doing by getting in touch with these people? You guys know what you're doing, right? Because by getting in touch, in other words, by getting in touch with them, you guys are opening up a whole different thing since you're asking for something else. You know what's going to happen. So these days, I mean, come on now, this does not happen with a certain race of black people. Africans, all of them, certain other ones, they do all that spiritual and paganism stuff also. Hindus, a lot of them. So you have to look at the separation and where everybody fits in. And then some way and some other thing, the financial agreement and all that other stuff ties them together. So watch.
The temples, these are, whether you're dealing with Egypt or you're dealing with out here where you've got other pyramid structures and temples. But I've got this solid orb up in the sky, so I don't know if you can see the electrical issues. Now here it is in night vision. These are blood sacrificial sites. Many of these for child sacrifice. These are human sacrificial sites where you are going hardcore dark, where it's got this sort of electrical explosion that happens behind it, around which these guys, like you're holding on the screen, are at. This is what these guys were interested in, is around these megalithic sites, specifically ritual sites. Is that true?
Yes.
These are the words of the blessing of Enoch, wherewith he blessed the elect and righteous. Two groups he mentions, who will be living in the day of tribulation, when the wicked and the godless are to be removed. The thing that's now dead that you're holding in your hand, there was some kind of importance on this being right here in doing these hardcore occult ceremonies, which also involved blood ritual human sacrifice.
Now, you hear where he says that these right here were always around the blood ritual sacrifices. All right. And those sacrifices were babies, little girl babies, and all that other stuff. These ties in with the nomads. A lot of the Arabs that you know say they found Muslim religion and other Caucasian cultures that claim to be nomads. All right, just Google it, do the research and look it up. You also see where he also spoke a verse from Enoch where he stated only those of that will be blessed during the tribulation times will be those of the righteous and those of the elect. Okay, I give you a message of the elect, and I variously do try to live a life of righteousness. I'm human and I make my mistakes, but I do not commit no major laws. All right, except for with my attitude when somebody acts unintellectual, not to understand what the words in the scriptures say.
True. Yes, that's correct.
And I almost kind of hope that she does come after here so that we can get the authorities to get her.
Not 5 minutes later, it happened. Nichols walked up to the camera.
The satanic cult in the city has been casting satanic spells on me for 3 to 4 days. I'm exhausted. I came home, I found out that my mom was the ringleader.
This device behind me here, of course, this is just a handheld recorder.
A story that began in the 1980s.
A story that started with a woman's rather remarkable claim. She said a 35,000-year-old warrior spirit had appeared before her, borrowed her body, and used her voice to teach.
And he goes, huh?
Now, I'm being real with you. What you're seeing, all the movies being made from the beginning of time until now, you see, you know, the Caucasians falling, all this other stuff. Black people, they're not trying to hear that they're out there, the house, they're moving, and none of this stuff happens. But anytime you see all this stuff, you got 35-year-old ghosts there. I mean, they actually really talk to these people. So you have to have some kind of connection, all right, with a race or a human being, whether they're Asians or Caucasians, in order to have this kind of stuff happening or going on. Now, I know a lot of blacks and myself that have seen spirits or been through something spiritually, but even if it's bad, there's still a veil in the separation that they can't, you know, and it's crazy. And then when it does happen to certain races or nations, it's either a voice or something pushing them inside of their head. And then once their will gives into it, and then that voice gets louder, and then that's what they always tell psychiatrists or a judge or jury. But these people don't have a voice or anything. They actually get, you know, possessed and see them, and there's a connection. So you have to pay attention.
Sure. Folks often put little handheld recorders out, ask questions, and then listen to the tape to see if anything responded on the tape.
Hello, are you there? Yes. Hello.
Have you ever seen Jesus Mine eyes were opened by God when I saw a vision of the Holy One in the heavens.
Now, I'm not being funny. You just heard the recording and you heard him ask if he's seen Jesus Christ. You heard the voices. Now, they did not sound like they were from the ghetto. They were down south black. They did not sound anything. They sounded European. All right. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not separating because Gentiles are welcome, but you have to know the whole truth and what is the truth. Like I said, I'm a messenger. I'm only going to speak the truth.
Which the angels showed unto me, and from them, the angels, I heard everything, and from them I understood as I saw.
She was still breathing. I stabbed her 3 times and she should have died. She was still breathing, and I don't know what happened to her afterwards. I don't know where they took her or what exactly happened, but she was the Antichrist. She did not die.
We would like to ask the question of the appearance of your space. Have you been to heaven or
Can you tell something about Skull?
Thank you.
us through with mystical things to say, none of these things are your friends. And the thing on the
Now, as you see, as he said, none of those things are your friend. None of them are your friend. And as you've seen in the other recording, while they were doing the other dimension thing, especially with all this stuff that they're doing over in Europe with this trying to get to the other dimension and the dark matter stuff, guess what? Will the work progress? He asked the demon. And he said, certainly. What does that tell you? The separation, the seed, the dramatic